Hi, my name is Tara Webb. I'm with the Antigonish Poverty Reduction Coalition. And my question relates to food security. So, based on Nova Scotia research within the Guysborough Antigonish Strait Health Authority, it costs $882.28 to feed a family of 4 per month. Food insecurity negatively impacts the health and well-being of many Nova Scotians and ultimately contributes to health disparities, increased healthcare costs, and social injustice. If elected, what will your government do to address the issue of income-related food insecurity to ensure that all Nova Scotians have sufficient resources to meet their basic food needs?
I think this is a two-factor or two-pronged approach here. I think one of them is dealing with food security. And when I grew up in Heatherton, one of the things that my family did was that we did a lot of our own food management. So, and I never really understood it when I was a child, that we raised our own chickens, our own beef, our own pork. We always had a large garden. And, you know, I came to become aware of it not until I was much older, that it wasn't because we were poor. It was because my parents understood the value that producing and managing our own food source provided. Not just in terms of the money that it saved us as a family unit, but also in the work ethic it instilled in myself and my siblings. So I think one opportunity that exists there, and there are groups here in Antigonish already pursuing these initiatives, as was mentioned earlier, is the notion of getting involved and more involved with community gardens and community-based programs like that. You know, and I think there are a number of people around who really support that type of initiatives to help provide access to healthy and accessible and safe food locally. The second angle and the second prong is, of course, that's only for a short period of time and for small units. We're talking large-scale agriculture that we need to address for food security. And so we do have agricultural programs, including a 2020 program, which is the objective to ensure that 20% of our food in Nova Scotia is produced here in Nova Scotia by the year 2020. We want to work with our agricultural stakeholders to develop programs and a strategic plan to ensure that we can continue the vitality of our farming system and the farmers that are available that do provide the other food sources that would go beyond the needs that we could provide ourselves here in our local communities.
Many people know, but Nova Scotia is the only province in Canada that's actually had an increase in farm starts since 2009. And that's basically because of some of the supports that they've been getting from the government. We have just come out quite recently with a couple of new programs. One is called the Time to Grow, which enables farmers who make investments in long-term crops, such as it could be a vineyard, it could be an orchard, those kinds of things. The monies that they have an opportunity to have a loan, and the interest is deferred until the crop actually comes to market. That's encouraging farmers to get into the business. We've also introduced the Farm Next program, which is a program for young farmers, both new and people who are starting up new farms and people who are purchasing farms that already exist. Again, it's an interest reduction for the mortgages that they have starting out. Randy talked about the 20% food by 2020. That was a program that we have initiated in the province. In order to have food security, you have to have income. We have done things to increase income which poorer people have, like taking the tax off the HST off home heating, like the affordable tax credit. Those kinds of things are the initiatives that will enable people to continue to partake in using local food and that kind of thing, because sometimes local food is even more expensive. But we are trying through these initiatives to encourage local farming, local consumption, and that's the direction that we need to take in order to deal with poverty in food.
Over the last several years, it's becoming more and more difficult for local farmers and producers to make a go of it or make a living on it. I think you've seen a recent push over the last number of years with buy local campaigns. Farmers markets are taking off and they're quite busy. The Incredible Picnic the other evening. Things of that nature are very, very good ideas. But what the problem is, the farmers I talk to, is they are having a difficult time making ends meet. The costs associated with running a farm, raising produce, things of that nature, those things are more and more expensive all the time. So that goes towards our food security to start with, because if we have less and less local farms and local producers, our costs will increase as a result. So that's why we have to have different approaches to it, like the Voices Yannick is a good example of that, with community gardens, box lunch, things like that. So that's where we have to basically use local producers to make sure that we keep those things local, so that we can support the local farmers that way. The BC government will increase the sale and consumption of the Nova Scotia products at home and around the world by developing Nova Scotia's first ever food strategy. We also look to make it a priority to use local food and produce wherever possible in public buildings, government, schools, things of that nature. Those things are the way forward. So if we want to make sure that we have food security both now and in the future, we have to take major steps in those directions. And the Buy Local campaign that you see locally, both with the weekly farmers market that you see here, is a good step in the right direction.